body part and to present accumulation of such material presents a firearm.
As you just heard there, Occupy protesters in New York City kicked out of their tents early this morning.
About 200 protesters were arrested. Now those protesters are allowed to return. However, they cannot reestablish their encampment.
A judge ruled that their free speech rights do not extend to pitching a tent and setting up camp for months at a time.
As you just saw, the Occupy encampments are being told in some cities to move out. Just yesterday, a camp set up by protesters in Oakland, California was also broken up.
Meanwhile, the Occupy movement in Pensacola has gone on peacefully for more than 30 days. But how long do the local occupiers expect that to last?
Fox 10 News reporter John Rogers joins us now live in the studio with the answer. John?
Well, Bob, at least at the moment, I'm told they don't know how long they'll last, but this just came down minutes ago, an email I got from the Occupy Pensacola. They're saying that they have a meeting tomorrow at 1 p.m. in City Hall where they'll be discussing the future of the Occupy movement, and that'll be with city officials at City Hall tomorrow at 1 p.m. So we'll be sure to bring the latest in this. But in the meantime, they had been preparing for the long haul. A large canopy tent was purchased to shelter those who don't own tents, and they were expecting hundreds more to join their ranks in the next few weeks.
Occupy Wall Street was about to celebrate 2 months of occupation when the police crashed their party. 1,200 miles south in Pensacola, there are no signs of stopping.
Today's day 32.
And for the past few weeks, these occupiers have called these tents home. This has become a sort of small city, including bathrooms, a fully staffed kitchen, and even a barber shop. The city of Pensacola allowed the occupiers to temporarily use these tents on city property, but that waiver expired last week. The mayor's office did not respond to our interview request, but as of right now, the police have not been ordered to raid the camp.
At this point, I think it's a non-issue.
A spokesman for the group expects Occupy Pensacola to grow as winter approaches, but the future is uncertain.
What makes you think that what happened to Occupy Wall Street wouldn't happen here?
I don't know. I have no idea that won't happen here. The city can turn at any time. They can take any. It would only take one little incident.
Well, there's always that worry. You always have to, you always have to think. Hopefully not. I mean, obviously that's not what we want because we're being peaceful.
A spokesman for this local group says Occupy movements have gotten bad press, but he claims they're doing a lot of good.
There are a lot of people here that have problems with psychological problems. There are homeless vets here. There are people that are dealing with drug and alcohol abuse, and we are trying to help them as much as we can because no one else is helping them. The government's not helping them.
Alfred says the organizers have run a tight ship. They make sure there's no drug use and people behave themselves. But as the group continues to grow, he's concerned that discipline could get out of hand and lead the city to shut them down. But the team is working hard at their campsite and with the local government to make sure it continues to run peacefully.
And once again, just moments ago, we got this email from Occupy Pensacola, and it says members of the group will be meeting with city officials tomorrow to discuss the future of the group's campsite over at City Hall. The meeting's tomorrow at 1 p.m., so it should be interesting. We'll be sure to bring you the latest information when it comes in.
And just last week, police arrested more than a dozen Occupy protesters in Mobile. The group had gathered here at Memorial Park, but officers moved in and took them to the Metro Jail. Most of these protesters were charged with trespassing. However, one of them was charged with possession of marijuana. The Occupy protesters have not set up camp in Mobile since the arrests.